Hey everyone, it's Tuesday, about 10 o'clock in the morning, and as you can see, I am in the car again. This time, I'm actually headed to electrolysis, which I'm actually in the city. I'm probably going to be there, not even 10 minutes. So anyways, how was everyone's weekend, and how has your week been going so far? For those of you that are new here or just recently found my channel, I am Gwen. I am an older mature woman with transgender experience, making all kinds of content. So I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. I hope the start of your week has been good. Not really too much going on for me so far. I'm trying to think. It's just been kind of normal, I guess. I think, electrolysis was Friday. Just kind of like a normal week, most of the week. Saturday, I think all weekend, trying to think. Oh yeah, Saturday, I had a wagon that attached to the back of my tractor, and it was actually my in-laws. So I took that back and got a couple of loads of firewood, brought that back over and stacked it. It was Saturday. Sunday, I got one of my trees cut down. I'll have to show you a picture. Right up there. I'll put up the picture of what it looked like before and what it looks like now. I don't have the tree entirely cut down. I have probably maybe 7-8 foot of the trunk sticking up still. I need to do that. I need to get it cut all the way down. I didn't have time to do it Sunday. Cutting the tree down, and then I cut it up into pieces big enough that I could fit into my wood stove. That took quite a bit of time, and then I got it all stacked on the front porch. So I was going to go and finish it off yesterday, but no, it didn't work out. I just got too busy doing household stuff. I had work, and I had laundry, and a little side note, it may be a while before I'll actually be able to do laundry back home again, because one of the local news stations was highlighting the fact we are in a drought. Since today's the last day of the month, and there is definitely not going to be any rain because it's very sunny and out. This month will be the second driest month back as record keeping goes, which I think is 1865. And we are for this month of September. Oh, I'm going to be in the sun. It's not going to work. I know it. I'll do this. Back up a little bit. For the month of, actually, this month of September, we have received only 0.3 inches of rain. Very, very minimal amount of rain. And they said that since June, we have been in a rain deficit. This area has received 5 inches less of rain than we normally do, which is really, really amazing. We typically get 21 or 22 inches of rain a year, so 5 inches is pretty significant. Hopefully, before the really, really cold weather sets in, or maybe we'll be lucky and not have a cold winter. Hopefully, we'll get some rain that'll be able to make up a lot of our deficit. So, anyways, because of that, I've been doing laundry down in the village. They have adequate water because they actually pull their water from some very active creeks, so they don't actually lack for water. So, but anyways, so I spent yesterday doing laundry, and so I wasn't able to get to work on the tree, and maybe I'll get to it now. I don't think I'll be able to get to it today. No. But anyways, maybe tomorrow, even though I do have the garage door company coming because one of the torsion springs broke. And there's 2 types of springs for garage doors. There's the extension springs that stretch when you close the garage door, and then they relax when you help you open up the garage door. And then there's the torsion springs, which there's actually 2 of them on a center shaft, and the guide wires that help lift the garage door are on the ends of the shafts. And these torsion springs actually work in opposite directions, so they help you open and close the door. And one of my torsion springs broke. It is 15 years old, so I guess it's to be expected. So they're coming tomorrow morning to replace that. So maybe I can get outside later on in the day, and there's a couple of, I looked yesterday real quick, there's a couple of little small trees that I can easily cut down. So maybe I'll get those cut down. I think there's 2 or 3 of those, at least 2. And to finish getting the other one down or finish it off. It still leaves 1, 2, 3 trees left, and I will just have to keep working at it. But anyways, so I worked on that Sunday, and I was getting dinner ready, and my mother-in-law called my daughter on her phone, and my daughter brought her phone out in the kitchen, put it on speaker, and my mother-in-law half-heartedly apologized. It was, well, I'm apologizing, I guess. And I'm like, what? Why is it a question? My daughter even asked her, she's like, Grandma, are you asking or are you making a statement? She didn't know what my daughter was talking about. My daughter's like, you asked it like a question. It's like, I'm apologizing, I guess. She's like, or are you saying, I'm apologizing, I guess? She's like, it makes a difference. So she kind of, like I said, kind of half-heartedly apologized. And my daughter mentioned it later on. She goes, I was amazed at the mental gymnastics. She says that grandma did. She goes, she went from apologizing to flipping the script and making it all about her. I says, yep, that's exactly it. That's the way she works. And that's what it wound up being. Once she's like, well, are we good now? Yeah, we're good, I guess. And then she started in about, well, you did it, and I have hurt feelings too, and I have feelings. I can't say what I want, and on and on and on. And I will admit, initially, I did get, my daughter and I talked about later on, I did get a little animated. When I get excited, I get a little animated. I talk louder, and my daughter says, yeah, you did cut her off. You didn't let her finish. She says, but I actually understand both positions. She goes, yes, you raised your voice to grandma and you did cut her off and not let her finish. She says, but you were right. She says, because we have already heard all this before. She can't let it go and she needs to move on. And what she was saying had no bearing on the conversation. And I'm like, exactly. This is why I get upset with her. It's constant. So anyways, so we kind of got through that, and then she was kind of complaining. Well, she wasn't kind of, she was complaining. Well, I say these things, and she's kind of directing at my daughter, and she's like, and you shouldn't go back and say something to him. She couldn't gender me properly, which I wasn't surprised. And my daughter's like, she goes, you're saying mean things. She goes, and it's about my dad. She goes, I don't like it. She goes, it's very upsetting. Oh, I guess. So things have been kind of smooth over a little bit. I'm keeping a distance. She actually called me yesterday. She needed some help on finding transportation for medical appointments. And I did some research and found about 7 different places that she can contact. So she was happy about that. Excuse me. I kept it pretty civil. I wasn't going to get in. I have no reason to get in anything. If she was going to start up with things, I was ready. It was something that my sister-in-law started before she passed, and it's just, all I need to do is say, we aren't talking about this anymore. We need to move forward, and that's it. Just let it go. My sister-in-law did that, and it would shut my mother-in-law down because she had nothing. She couldn't complain about anything because my sister-in-law wouldn't put up with it. And if my mother-in-law started up again, my sister-in-law would say, we are done talking about this. I'm not talking about it anymore. We need to move on. We need to move forward. That's it. And eventually she stopped. So my daughter got over there yesterday after work. She stopped in, and my mother-in-law says to her, oh, I didn't realize that I made you so upset about the things I said. And my daughter's like, yes. And my mother-in-law says, well, you seemed kind of off a couple of days before you left. She goes, were you mad? And my daughter's like, yes, I was. She's like, this is very upsetting to me, you saying these things. Oh, I didn't mean to make you sad. So maybe hearing it from my daughter that she doesn't want to hear this stuff anymore, may end this. So, but anyways, enough of that. Like I said, I'm in electrolysis. I gotta go in a minute or so. Coming up this week, not really too much going on the rest of the week. Like I said, the garage door is going to get fixed tomorrow. Thursday, I have to be on site at the university. Friday is grocery shopping. Saturday, I have planned a play date for our Whippets. We're going to try and get everybody together, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. On Sunday, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea yet. I'm not worried about it. So anyways, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. As always, like, share, subscribe. If you have any comments, suggestions, ideas, topics you'd like me to talk about, please in the comments section below. And as always, I make these videos every week for you guys because you're part of all my extended family. And I'd like to keep in contact with my extended family. So with that, I will see everyone here next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.